so damn cold this morning. I have to keep sitting in the car with the heater on between to warm my fingers up. I wanted to try this again briefly. Just check this. I just want to do a check flight. I broke the rudder yesterday, so I've mended it with hinge tape. It had and I mended the undercarriage here, the struts. Whoops, famous last words. Well, that's not looking good, is it? That's not looking good. What's catching on what here? Something's catching. We don't want to fly him. What the hell is it? Oh, you know what? It may be this. It's the wheel pushes it, you see, unfortunately, because the weight is sitting on that wheel. It's not helpful. I mean, nothing's helpful. It was all just joined as a foam hinge, but I tipped the plane over and broke it when I landed it last time. Yeah, I don't know as I'm that happy about the repair of that rudder, but I don't know what else to do. Got to be hinged somehow, obviously. And there would be no point gluing that foam hinge. It would just be too rigid if you glued it. Well, I could get fancy and put little plastic hinges in it, I suppose. Although I don't know whether that would make it a lot more rigid. I mean, the point is you want to make it rigid because it's really just because of the tail wheel. It's got a steerable tail wheel, and that puts pressure on it. There's a 737 there. It's not so much of a problem in the air. It can move from side to side, and it's the biggest stress on it is coming from running over the runway. That's where the biggest stress is coming from, because the steerable tail wheel connects to the rudder with a whatchamacallem there. It's got like a rod that goes in the bottom of it, and there's a rod that goes into a hole in the bottom of the rudder. But that's the biggest stress that's put on the rudder, because the weight of the plane is pushing, of course, is sitting in the back, part of the weight of the plane anyway, is sitting on that. Part of the weight of the plane, fortunately, it was what we broke before was the connecting landing struts, which never were very steady. They're just plastic connecting the metal there, and they never were very sturdy. They've been broken before, but we broke the rudder off. But the biggest strain on the rudder is when it's running along the ground and the weight of the plane is pushing that tail wheel up, and that kind of tends to skew the rudder. It tends to push, the top of the rudder in and the bottom of the rudder out, kind of, and that's a stress. And any repair you do has got to stand that stress and still keep functioning, otherwise it's no use.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
This was only meant to be a check flight ever, so I'm not anxious to do much. Just want a gentle landing there. And I'm not going to taxi him, actually, because that's just going to put more stress on that rudder repair. I did taxi him before, but I want to think more about that rudder repair. It still seems to be working okay at the moment, the rudder, but I got to think a bit more about it. Make sure we got throttle cut on, yes. Usually I don't usually have to think about it. I just put throttle cut on. My instinct when I land a plane, I always put it on the same switch. And I just, as soon as I land the plane, I just flick the throttle cut switch instinctively, but it's always good to check. Well, he flies okay. Well, there's no particular reason why he wouldn't by and large, because we didn't damage most of the flight procedures. The only thing we damaged that would affect flight was the rudder. I was saying it wouldn't be long before we were thinking about frost. I think there may actually be some frost. I don't know. I don't know if that's frost or not, but it certainly looks like it. It was chilly this morning. Discouraging that summer seems so over so quickly. But anyway, what can you do? I'm not sure this 100% proves that we've got the rudder fixed or not. It flies, but I may have to think a bit more about that rudder repair.